Hey guys, Mel the Terrain Tutor back in the studio and back with another technical terrain tutorial for you. And in this technical terrain tutorial we're back in the snow and water playlist and we're working with snow. Specifically I'm going to be showing you some techniques for working with giving the impression of deep snow. Now I know what you're saying. Hey at Boskull, we can see the bills and that's not really at the snowy stage. Actually, it is. There's one element of doing deep snow that actually needs doing long before you actually paint the piece up. You can get away with it, later on, but it's better if you can sort of do it before you paint it up, if you know what I mean. Or I'm going to do it before I paint it up anyway. Now when you look at deep snow, one of the things that gives the impression of deep snow is not specifically the fact that it's all white. You can often see a field that's covered with snow and it'll be all white and you don't know how deep it is. But one of the key things is you get snow waves. Now snow waves are that situation where you get snow blown from one way and you get the wind changes direction, blows it the other way. And it makes like a wave effect. Now this is quite common around buildings, not so much in open fields, but around buildings. And if you look at buildings, what you'll get is, you'll get a build-up of snow around here, but as the wind comes in, it'll hit this wall, it'll blow back round and black out, and it'll make a crest along this line. So that's one of the things that I want to do. I'm going to go in with my good old Daz modelling putty. Okay, just the white stuff because, you know, better than using terracotta, innit? Yeah, and I'm going to lay down these snow crests and they're going to form the substructure to my deep snow and give the impression. Now, I'm not just going to put it there. There's a couple of other places that I need to put build-ups of snow to give that impression that it's deep. Now, if you come over here, a couple of places would be where you got the overhang from the roof, the snow would drop straight down and we get a sort of build-up along there. It might not be much, but it will be more than the ground, and so if we can drop that in, it increases the realism. Also on top of that, if you come around here, these corners, these would be wind traps, so snow would get deposited in there and the wind wouldn't be able to blow it out. So I need to build up the corners as well. Now on the mountains themselves, so if I just very carefully bring that round, we've got a couple of overhangs. So we would expect snow to drop from those and create a pile on there, specifically with sort of a rise away from the mountain. So that's my first job, So I've got my Daz modelling potty and you're along for the ride, so let's get cracked on. So laying the crest is quite easy. All I'm going to do is wet the surface that I'm going to put in the Daz on. This is to help it key in. I've rolled a little bit of Daz up. I'm just going to drop it along there. Try and spread it out a bit. Now with my fingers, all I'm going to do is just sort of slide it along and get a ridge line on it. You want to make it sort of wavy, Don't sort of make it too straight because the wind would change. Then push it down. And then come in and just redefine that peak. And that's all there is to it, just making a simple wave. But when we get to the actual snow element, that'll really pop up. And so all I need to do is build up my snow around here now and put in a couple more waves. So that's all the substructure to the deep snow, and it is sort of, it's an intuition thing to be perfectly honest. You've got to look at it and feel, does it feel right? If you've been around a lot of snow, you'll know what it feels like. And if you haven't, well, there's plenty of images on Google Images. But if I bring you down, you can see on this side that I've put my snow crests up here. I've also sort of changed the contour of these points because they would be collection points. Snow would build up there, the wind wouldn't be able to shift it, and it'd slowly pile up and then get smoothed off by the wind. So these are points here. I've got a drop snow directly under that piece there. As I said, it only needs to be subtle, but given the idea that, oh look, snow's dropped off onto there, reinforces it. Same on this side, built it up, broke this up a bit, a little bit of a line there, a little bit of a line there. And if we come over to this side, I've done exactly the same here with a long wave crest there, another one here. On this side, before I knock bits off, I've added a few extra blobs of Daz as well, just to sort of make it a little bit more undulating. Now that is the substructure of the deep snow done. I can't do any more on this piece until we're ready to snow it up with regards to the deep snow. So that's done. It's going to be another day or two before we're ready to put the snow on, so I'll see you in a day or two, or a couple of seconds after this swish. So all our little dad's little snow mounds have been set and dry. Come on down. Now if you can see I made the ridges there as I've shown you. I've also added a few extra blobs in, yeah, up against these sides and build these up. It's just to replicate that idea where snow goes up against something. Now when we're doing deep snow, I've shown you over a large field. This is more about as it comes up to something, and there's a step that we need to include in this before we lay down the deep snow. Yeah, but it's done at the stage literally just before you lay down the deep snow, so which is why the model sort of progressed to this stage before I show you this. So let me get set up and I'll show you in just a second. So as you can see, we've got deep snow coming along here, and it's sort of built up against the edges and against these buildings. What I want to do is build in a frosting layer so that the line between where our deep snow goes up and where it hits something that isn't snowy, sort of, we diffuse it a little. And now I'm using an airbrush for this, but you don't need one, you can stipple it. But all I'm doing is just frosting it. This will help produce a nice clear transition between our snow effects and the actual material we're putting it on. Now I am going to be putting it on all around here anyway, but I still need to put this in case there's any gaps. So I'll get cracked on with this, get all this snowed up, and once we've got this done, we're ready to actually mix up the snow and lay it on. So I'll see you in just a sec, guys. And so all our foundation work is done, and we are actually ready at the stage to put down our deep snow. So if you come on down, you can see where I've done all my substructures. They're all dry and perfect. I've got my snow waves here and my bulks up against the buildings, along with my building frosting. Remember, you only have to frost it if you've actually got buildings or something for the snow to go up against. If you're doing large fields, you don't need to do that. Yeah, but we've come to the stage where we're actually gotta lay down our snow now. Okay, now before I lay it down, one of the things that I did do is I gave this a quick coat of matte varnish. Yeah, that was to seal in everything. When you put down your snow, what it can do is, because it's white, if you've got paint or something underneath it, it can reactivate that and that colour can bleed up. With MDF kits, you get this situation where you get the laser burn, the residue bleeding through. So it's always important that if you're going to be working with buildings or have anything that could bleed through, seal it before you put your snow down, okay? It's also good practice. Right, so time to do some snow. Now, the bulk of our snow is going to be used using this. Daka daka daka. Okay, this is acrylic caulking, white decorators acrylic caulking. Okay, and I'm going to use this to do the bulk of it. Now, it'll take me a little while to squeeze it all out. I might take the nozzle off. Okay, so while I squeeze this out, I'll just talk you through the process. Once we've squeezed enough of this out, I'm going to add a little bit of white paint. Now this is just white acrylic paint. I don't want to add more than 10% in white paint to the mix. If you add more than if you add more than 10% of white paint to acrylic filler, it loses its bulkiness, and that's the reason we're using the filler. The only reason we're adding the paint, it isn't because we're worried about any oxidization or we need it to be white, because the acrylic is already white and it's got chemicals in that stop it yellowing. Okay. The reason we're adding it is to thin it down a little so it spreads a little better. If we don't, our snow's going to be rather sticky and spiky. Yeah, we don't want spiky snow. So put more of this out. Now, we're putting in, our acrylic filler. But acrylic filler, we're putting in our white paint. But on top of that, I've got something else that's white. Okay, and for the snow on this one, there's various options for snow. Okay. I'm going for a big bag of white, careful, this is a white static fibre. It's 1 mil white static fibre. I got it from Foreground that came with the Frostgrave build, and it's been sitting in my drawer and I've been looking to use some more snow since since that build. So I'm going to be adding that into the mix, and then afterwards I'm going to be coming along and sprinkling with this. So very quickly, let me get this all mixed up. I'll come back in a second. So my paste is all mixed up and it's looking something like that at the minute. Sort of soft ice creamy, which is perfect. It's got the body I need, but I can spread it around. It'll settle itself. Remember, if it is a little bit too thick, just add a little bit more paint, yeah? But you've got to be careful that you don't do too much paint. Now, next job, always the fun bit, time to apply it. So, simple house brush, yeah? Get it on your brush and smear it on. Sorry for that interruption, camera troubles, but I need to make sure I get this. So yes, all we're doing is we're pulling it out and we're just smearing it where we want it. Okay, brush it a couple of times and that will smooth out any sort of filler lines. They will settle in time anyway. You can use a spatula to put this stuff down, if you'd like. And then once you've got it all down, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it with a little bit of of my 1mm nylon fibre or whatever flocking material you've got. And I'm going to lay a coat over that and that will give it its final body. Okay, so let me get cracked on with this and I'll come back when we're ready to do that. So I've spread it on my deep snow mixture and I've got it there and it's filled in all the gaps and it's got a nice sort of laying over it. You will get some lines in it, yeah, that's because it's a thick mixture, but we're disguising that next. So, next job, get my big bag of white. Yeah, come along. And then all it is coming along and then giving it a dusting with your snow flock. And then blowing off the excess. Now I'm not going to blow this off in here, yeah, because it will go absolutely everywhere. But as you can see, it does look absolutely beautiful. So that's laying down the basis of the deep snow. Yeah, that's your substructures, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to carry on with this and we'll bring it back when it's done, guys. Now my deep snow is down, it's dry, and it's time to do the final touch up and the final frosting. And for this, dead simple. Okay, all I'm using is hairspray. Yeah, it's bog standard hair lacquer. Always keep a can in the studio. Don't laugh. And all we're going to do is hair lacquer is really good at holding little bits. So all we're going to do is we're going to give this a bit of a spray and then we're going to give it a bit of a dusting. So, yeah, do you see where we are? In fact, let me move that round just a little. Yeah, and so all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray along there. Give it a good coat. And then just give it a dusting. If I leave that to dry, then when it's dry, I'll give it another coat. I'll leave that to dry, I'll give it another coat, and that will seal it down solid. And once it's down solid, yeah, we'll be able to watch colour it. We'll be able to actually seal it with a matte varnish and hold absolutely everything in. So, I'll see you when it's dry, guys. So folks, doesn't she look beautiful? And that's it for the deep snow techniques. Basically, taking you through it very quickly is remember to lay your foundation, remember to white out, to seal, and then using that acrylic filler to build it up. Yeah, and then you've got the final sort of sealing sort of touch up with the hairspray. Dead easy, but the results are beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And it's hard wearing, it's solid, you know what I mean? It's fixed. Now, you can, once it's all dry, go in with another coat of matte sealer. I'll be doing that in a couple of days, yeah, but that's just to toughen it up because I know this will be played with and that sort of stuff. But above all, yeah, she is looking beautiful. Really beautiful. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed those techniques. I hope you've learned from them, more importantly, and I hope they're helping with your hobby. As always, if you've got any questions about these techniques and that sort of stuff, I am around. Ask them in the comments. If you've got any tips or suggestions, get them in the comments as well. I'm always interested in learning. And as always, guys, if you do enjoy this content, if it is helping you with your hobby, please consider supporting the channel. You know, you can jump on Patreon for just $1 a month, and it helps keep the lights on, the cameras rolling, and me in here helping you with your hobby. And if you're not into the Patreon thing, then remember, yeah, there are links down below to PayPal for a one-off tip, or to my Amazon wish list, and you can help me get something to fix up the studio and help do more tutorials. Yeah, all of it helps. So if you'd like to help me, please consider it, guys. And in the meantime, I'm going to call this a day. All the best, yeah? Ta-ra.